Dr. Mahrang Baloch. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dear Dr. Mahrang, could you please introduce yourself and could you please give us some more information about the movement that you are in now? Very shortly, please.
My name is Dr. Mahrang Baloch, and myself is a victim of state atrocities. Uh, I am leading a movement against Baloch genocide. I am the organizer of Baloch Executive Committee, a movement which has been organized by the Baloch youth. And our aim and what we are doing today is the long march that we have led. It's 41 day of our long march, and this long march is being held after the extrajudicial killings of 4 Baloch youth who have been killed in Keech Turbat. First of all, they were abducted by the CTD Counter-Terrorism Department of Police, and then they were presented in the court, and in the custody they were killed, and the CTD have claimed that they have killed them in an ambush. So it's been usual for us in Balochistan. Uh, what is unusual for the world, it's been usual for us in Balochistan that thousands of Baloch missing persons have been killed by the state forces, and their families who have been waiting for their loved ones are being gifted their dead bodies, their mutilated bodies. So it's not first time. What is more drastic that the people have been silenced from decades, and there is a fear among them people, and the judiciary and the courts, all of them have been silent. So Baloch case was the first case. It's not the first case. Earlier, Baloch, there were also protests and sit-in organized by the Baloch Executive Committee, in which the Baloch people have refused to bury their dead bodies and have organized sit-ins in multiple areas for the justice. But the judiciary and this state failed to provide justice to Baloch youth. So after that, when Baloch was killed extrajudicially, his family have refused to bury Baloch and have organized a sit-in in Keech Turbat. After 15 days of that sit-in, we have called for a long march, because the aim of a long march is to mobilize our own.
In that case, I would like to ask you exactly what is the Balochistan people demands, very shortly.
Balochistan people demands their own identity, their land, and the end of the genocide that has been occurring from the last 7 decades. None of our generations have left in peace, and there are multiple cases, and even though this is the fifth insurgency of Balochistan, and what we demand our own land, our own peace, and the end of the genocide, the end of the killings, the end of the exploitations of our resources, and the end of cultural invasion that have been occurring from decades in our land. The Baloch people have lost the right to live. The Baloch people have lost the right for every, there is no economic stability in Balochistan. No one is safe and secure living, and Balochistan has been treated as a colony. Like in every 5 kilometers, there is a check post, and the army officials there are harassing people, are threatening people, are involved in killings of innocent Balochs, and also the women and children are not spared. There are multiple cases where the drastic change is that from the last 2 decades, the state has sponsored the local goons, have given them arms and ammunition. They call them death squads. They are free to kill. They are easily. They have the power of the state. They have guns, and they have been involved in the killings of innocent Baloch people. And also in 2014, in Tutak region of Guzdar, the state, even though the state officials have discovered more than 3 mass graves, where above than 300 Baloch, forcibly disappeared Baloch persons were killed, and their mutilated bodies were there. even though when the families came and protested and urged the UN that the dead bodies that have been found in those mass graves, that must be a DNA test must be done for them, so that the victim families who have been waiting for their loved ones would know that the buried bodies of would be their beloved ones. But sadly, the state have not given a right to Baloch to mourn on their beloved ones' killings. So this is not an one case. It's what Balochistan is suffering. What in Balochistan is occurring is a genocide that has been hidden from the world. What they say that is an internal issue, but it's not an internal issue. A nation has been facing a systematic genocide from a state that doesn't value Baloch human lives, that just value the resources, and they are there just to loot our resources, and in return they are killing our peoples, and they are not stopping those killings, even though there have been many peaceful movements there, but
Exactly. In
none of
that
them.
case,
Yeah.
I would like to also ask you. You mentioned about the violation towards to the Balochistan people, but also the Europe is responsible of these attacks as well to Baloch people. So Europe and European institutions like European Union always talks about human rights and democracy, but when it comes to the Balochistan, they are keeping silence. So what is your call to the European Union to take action against Pakistani violence on Baloch people?
Actually, the main focus of our movement was this. The first demand of our movement was a UN fact-finding committee against the human right violations. They must come in Balochistan. They must take the notice of human rights violation. What we are seeing that a state is involved in the systemic genocide, but also has been supported by all the world. Human rights are just slogans. Our peoples are butchered, our peoples are mutilated, but none of them speak for us. If there is a civilized world, if there is the Charter of Human Rights, then they must know. And there are multiple cases of enforced disappeared persons that have been registered in UN. And also last year, we have attended a conference where the working South Asian head of working group enforced disappeared persons were also present on that conference, and she was saying that from the last 10 years, UN is asking for NOC to come in Balochistan and take notice of enforcedly disappeared persons and also the extrajudicial killings. This Pakistan is not allowing them. So it is a drastic change. Why you are not acting against this? There are thousands of missing persons families. There are thousands of cases where people have been killed. And your own organization, if Pakistan is a signatory nation of UN and Pakistan has signed to the UN Human Rights Charter, so then why it has not been able, the world has not been able to stop Pakistan and to stop Pakistan against Baloch genocide, against enforced disappearances. Still in Pakistan, these practices, enforced disappearances, is practiced freely, and even the Prime Minister of Pakistan is justifying enforced disappearances. It isn't it enough for the European Union to act? Isn't it enough? Isn't it enough evidence for the European Union to act immediately and send their fact-finding committee in Balochistan, and also take immediate actions, and to even though to compel Pakistan to end the enforced disappearances and the extrajudicial killings, and also consider the human rights and the national rights of Baloch nation.
Thank you, Doctor. Also, as you know, the Kurdish woman movement is one of the biggest supporter of the Baloch community. So, Kurdish woman movement has officially announced yesterday the support to the Baloch woman with a statement. joint statement, and they said